Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 6th, and happy belated birthday to America. Tom, what's up?
Not much, man. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How was your 4th of July?
Yeah, it was actually really nice because I got to actually have some time off for once. I had a whole 2 days in a row off, which was the first time in a pretty long time. So it was
Yeah,
nice. How was yours?
it was all right. I didn't do much. I don't like the fireworks. It's not my thing,
Yeah.
but it's all right. It's all right. Well, I wanted to bring up some nice pictures to you, but I can't find them right now. Damn it. Okay. Well, we'll move on. Maybe I can get them later. I of course you popped up in my. I never really go on Facebook anymore, but you popped up with the pictures, and I was like, I have to save these and put them in,
Uh,
but I can't. I can't find them right now, and I can't have the file, so I don't really care. And my computer's already running slow. All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, though. The NBA Finals start tonight. We'll obviously get into that a little bit. The Euro semifinals are today. We probably won't talk about that much. I'll go over it really quickly, but nothing else really.
so
And then congratulations to Bruce Springsteen's daughter Jessica because she made the Olympic equestrian team. I didn't know like horse show jumping was in the Olympics, but there's rock climbing in the Olympics now too, I guess.
What?
Yeah. There's 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics.
Wow, bro.
You know it was three. Yeah, it's 3-on-3.
No.
That's what everyone was all pissed at the U.S. women's because basically like on the 5-on-5 team, it's like 7 UConn players, and then for the 4 players on the 3-on-3 women's team, 2 of them are UConn players. So everyone hates Gino Ariema. I mean, I do, but whatever. Today in sports history, it seems like the Yankees could use some good news. I don't know. I'll have to ask you after this, but in 1920, the New York Yankees scored an MLB record of 14 runs in the 5th inning of a 17-0 rout over the Washington Senators. So I was very confused on Twitter yesterday. Did they have a doubleheader yesterday?
Not yesterday, but I think the 4th of July. There was the doubleheader because the Subway Series was supposed to be the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but on the 2nd it got rained out, so they did a doubleheader on the 4th, and which sucked because on the 2nd we were supposed to get the DeGrom versus Cole matchup, which was
matchup.
Huh?
DeGrom's so much better than Cole.
Oh yeah, but it's a battle of like the big pitchers in New York, and it was going to be great. And then it got rained out, and then they didn't have it because they had Stroman go up against Cole, so that DeGrom was fresh for the Brewers. But
yeah, I mean, I have no idea really. I was just confused. Did they win both the games, or did they split them?
So they won on the 3rd. And they won one of the games on the 4th. The Yankees won the last game from being swept.
I do remember that. What did Francisco Lindor do? I saw his name was trending.
He did okay, I guess. A lot of people were looking at him because like he still is in that tweener spot where he's really good one game and like not great the next. But
I mean I told you it'll come along with Frankie. Frankie's a good dude.
I hope so.
So now we're going to start our new segment where me and Todd basically grovel and beg for companies to sponsor us. I will start out. This is Goldfish. Not only Goldfish, red hot Goldfish. I love Goldfish. I eat them every night.
I do too.
Literally every night. I could go through a bag of them in a night, and it's incredible. I haven't really tried the red hot flavor. I'm kind of scared, but I think I will today. And so Goldfish, if you see this, not the red hot, but just the regular. That's cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, I ate Goldfish all the time when I was at school. I got like the big carton of them, and every time I'd go out drinking, I'd come back and I just started having handfuls of them at a time.
Every time I go to the store, I get like 3 bags, and I just put them in my room, and hey, I'll get eaten.
All right,
What are you trying to get, Tom? Let's hear your first one.
All right. I drink this every show. Everyone sees the bottle that I drink out of it. The company is called Sneak. It is a supplement that you put into your water. It has 0 sugars, a bunch of vitamins and stuff, and it gives you a lot of energy. I drink it.
Let me see the container again. Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm currently drinking the blue raspberry flavor. It's my favorite. This little container that you have gives you 40 servings. You got like little scoops that you put in with your water and everything. They also sell them in little packets that you've seen me pour into my water.
Yeah, I think so.
It's very good. It's very tasty, and there's not much like a lot of times when you're putting like something like Crystal Light or like another something into the water. Once you get down to the very bottom, it's like very flaky, and you can like kind of taste the power. That's not the case with Sneak, and it's very good and it's very refreshing.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's. I had no when you when you texted me that last night, I was like, steak. All right. Well, we're just gonna.
I'm monopolizing steak.
Yeah. I just want beef to sponsor me. All right. But my second one and last one, of course, is my Rogue nicotine patches on demand. If you dip, you know what it is. These you can swallow. They taste pretty good. They're kind of like Snus back in the day, except these are much better. They have wintergreen, my favorite, peppermint, very good, mango, haven't tried, and honey lemon, which is above average but not great. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. They gave me not this can. I actually bought this can, but they gave me their first can free. One of their sales guys at the gas station. So Rogue. Always. I'm here for you. All right, Tom, you're up for your final one.
All right. I know I was joking last night about the Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I do have them, but like they're not something that I eat on the regular where I can talk about them.
Who's the, maybe you know better than I do, who's the weird kid that's like popular or like, I don't know. I don't know who he is, but he claimed he had to go to the hospital for eating too many Flamin' Hot Cheetos when really I think it was like a drug overdose.
I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about, right. But that sounds like a wild story.
Yeah, keep going.
So I was looking at something that I could like use and actually talk about. And when I was like upgrading my headset for my Xbox, the Arctis X7s or 7X, I guess, wireless headphones is what I got. I have them over there. I can't go and grab them right now, but they are the most comfortable pair of gaming headphones that I've ever owned, and I've had like a ton of headsets. It's my first wireless one, though. They work great. They have a great battery life, 24 hours. Super comfortable ear cushions, which are a must when you're playing for that long, and as long as I do. They're just an all-around amazing headphone, and the microphone picks up basically everything that this Yeti can pick up as well. So highest remarks for that, and hopefully they see me and will help me start a Twitch.
I gotta say, if I'm gonna give a winner to between us two for who will probably get sponsored first, I gotta give it to you. You kind of actually explained your product. I just basically said, yeah, I use this, give it to me free. But no, it was. I looked it up. Little Xan. I don't know who he is.
Oh, okay, the rapper.
Yeah. He went to the hospital. He said it ripped the Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Went to the hospital after eating Flamin' Hot Cheetos. It ripped something in my stomach. So not great for Cheetos. But we'll move on. Obviously, that kind of, even though when I came up with this idea, I didn't think about it, but it kind of will be involved when we get to it later about the NIL, because we haven't talked about that yet. So. But the first thing I think we'll start talking about, I don't know if you ended up reading the whole report with the whole situation with ESPN and Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor. I'm going to pretty much try and censor myself. I think Rachel Nichols is 100% right. Just because ESPN has a bad history with diversity and everything like that doesn't mean that you take – I mean, Rachel Nichols is one of the people at ESPN that when I see her, I know it's NBA. Like it's NBA, I know that. It's kind of like Schefter or someone for the NFL or MLB, same thing. And I agree, she worked hard to get there. And just because ESPN was feeling the heat about diversity, which they should hear the heat. I mean, it's ESPN. They somehow managed to screw everything up. But I agree with her. And then I thought Jalen Rose putting his comments in there, it's absolutely, I mean, it's downright funny. Jalen Rose a week ago said Kevin Love, which, I mean, he might be right on this. I'm not gonna. I kind of agree with him, but not. He said Kevin Love shouldn't be on the Olympic team because he's on there only as the token white guy. So Jalen, first of all, I mean, just Jalen Rose being on anything in the NBA, like I don't know why they have him. He's married to one of the first take women. So Jalen Rose brings nothing to anything for me in the NBA perspective. Yeah, what are your thoughts about this? We can't really say much, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a really sticky situation, and Jalen Rose just piling onto it and adding more wood to the fire. I'll put it
I
as.
mean, he's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. Like I didn't hear you. Go ahead, keep going.
No, just him adding more wood to the fire and just and blowing this even more out of proportion than it already is. Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to, if you're ESPN, you have to like kind of tell anyone who's going on air, like, hey, don't mention this, don't talk about this while we handle our internal issues. I know that like it's sort of like censoring their speech or whatever. Obviously, they can talk about what they want, but like in this scenario, ESPN is handling it internally and should be handling it internally and figuring out their game plan and figuring out what they want to do with the situation and having guys like Jalen Rose go out there and like give their thoughts and bash the company that he's like working for on top of this issue already happening. It just doesn't look like it's going to end well. And that's all I'll really say about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to end well, and people are going to hate me for saying this. It doesn't matter what happened. I mean, apparently Maria Taylor's contract is up. I would be shocked if they re-signed her, and she's going to go over to Fox or I don't know, FS1 or ABC or CBS and make like $6-7 million a year. So I really don't feel bad for her. And then, yeah, I mean, like going back to I mean, this is going to keep continuing happening at ESPN because I don't know if it's our culture or like just how things are today. We let it happen. I mean, like as guys who watch sports, like and people who watch sports, we know that say Maria Taylor leaves. ESPN is going to go right to one of the college campuses and get another female to do it. And they will probably be treated the same or worse, but it doesn't matter because you'll be making $1 million working for ESPN. So it's never going to stop with them. Like I said, I completely understand where Rachel Nichols is coming from. The one comment about when she was on the phone about the Me Too movement and Black Lives Matter, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I can understand where she's coming from in that point. And I know I kind of put it in here, and I think we might have talked about it last week. Like, when can we just go back to sports just being sports? Like, it's gotten to a point where, like, I don't think we're ever – like, it's only going to get worse from here.
But, yeah, I agree.
It's just it's ridiculous, and I just want to watch the NBA Finals tonight. That's what I want to watch. Like, I don't care, and that's why, and it's part of the reason why I like soccer so much. I mean, there is racist stuff in the game, and that obviously needs to be taken care of, but it's not like America and this. So I don't know. It's whatever. It's going to keep happening. Rachel Nichols will keep her job. Maria Taylor will sign with FS1. It's the same story. We'll hear. I mean, it'll be deja vu in a year from now. It'll be the same thing. No, I don't want to go there yet. It's on to the NBA Finals. This might be the most maybe unexpected or surprising finals. I think. I'm not terribly surprised. I just want the Suns to win. I just want the Suns to win. I'm sick of Milwaukee. And then, of course, when they lose, they're going to put it all on Giannis being hurt. I've been out there and said it openly. Giannis isn't a top 5 player for me. I don't enjoy watching him. He can't shoot. His ball handling is probably worse than mine. But he is in the finals. But, I mean, Bucks fans are just going to complain about how he's hurt. He's doubtful for game 1. So if you have any sense, I guess I haven't checked the lines yet. But I would bet the I would bet the Suns pretty much each way. So I got two questions, unless you have anything specific on the finals.
Nope.
All right. So how many games do we think Giannis plays in this series? Let's set the over at over under at 1.5. And you also have to take in mind that it could only be a 4-game series. So there's a chance of that too.
So wait, you're saying that Giannis in this series only plays one
Say it
game?
again.
Huh?
Say it again. I didn't. My headphones were about. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm just saying you're setting the line at 1.5. So you think Giannis is going to play like 2 games at best?
No, I would take the under. Yeah, no, I would take the under. I think if they lose tonight and they lose poorly tonight, Giannis is. I mean, it's smart. It's what Klay Thompson did. Giannis is good. Or if they maybe he'll try and come back for game 2. But at some point, I think the Suns are going to overwhelm them because Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton can only get you so far. And PJ Tucker, he was a nuisance basically to Kevin Durant. PJ Tucker won't be like that in the finals. So I would take the under. I think they lose tonight. I think they lose pretty heavily tonight. And then I think he maybe tries to come back for game 2. But he's not going to be at full strength. So I would take the under. I would not be surprised if he doesn't play a single game in the finals.
I don't know. I've been thinking that this series is going to go 5-6 games. I think he'll play half of it. So I think he's missing tonight for sure. He will probably sit out. I don't think he's going to be here tonight.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I'm just saying what it was.
Then for game 2, I think they'll rest him again. Depending on how, like you said, depending on how they play tonight without him, because they've been playing decent without him. Like they got to the finals basically without him. So if it's a close,
let's be honest though. If Trae Young is healthy, that series probably goes to 7, because then I would also say Giannis ends up being healthy too. So that series probably goes to 7. Probably the Bucks end up winning. I love Trae Young to the death, but the Bucks probably end up winning. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out my computer sucks. I don't know why I even use it. I can't. I don't know who has home field or home court advantage in this. Do you?
I think the Suns were the number 1 overall seed, and I know that the Bucks were a 3 seed. So,
well, I know the Suns were a 2 seed, so that means they have it. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
were the Nuggets the 1 overall seed?
I don't know, because it wasn't the Lakers, it wasn't the Clippers.
I think the Nuggets were the 1 seed.
Yeah, maybe the Nuggets are maybe Portland. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
all right.
What's your other question?
But just going back to Giannis, I don't really think he makes much of a difference at the end of the day. And then the other, who's your X factor for the series? Just one. You don't have to pick from a certain team or anything. I have one in mind.
I mean, it's really hard not to say Devin Booker as the X factor. I mean, he's.
I'll rephrase it. Let's not look at the Giannis. Okay, let's exclude Giannis and Chris Middleton, and then Chris Paul, Booker, and Ayton. Or you could. I think Ayton is a pretty known X factor. If he's good, they're going to win. So, other than those guys, I guess.
Oh, other than those, gosh, I don't know. I would like taking out Middleton and Giannis, like for the Bucks side of it. Then it's all on Drew Holiday, whether or not he can lock up Booker.
And I think we're past the point where, like, I don't think Booker, right, the way he's playing right now, I don't think he's guardable. Like, because he's not a guy that always goes to the rim. He likes to go to the rim, but he's even more lethal pulling up and shooting. So I don't think anyone can stop him. My X factor, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I wrote a nice article about him about 2 weeks ago. Campaign. Listen, let's be real. Chris Paul is probably going to stub his toe, or something is going to happen during a game where he has to sit out, maybe not forever, but like extended minutes. And we've seen what Campaign can do. We've also seen what Campaign can do in the bad way, or at least I have. I mean, he's been with like 5 teams, and he wasn't in the NBA last year. I think it's big for him. But if he plays like he did when Chris Paul was hurt, I think I think they win either way. But I like Campaign a lot. It's mind-boggling to me that he was on the Cavs, and now he's not. So,
was he really?
yeah.
I knew he was on the Thunder.
Yeah, he was somehow on the Cavs. I think it was like for a short period of time, maybe like in between a trade or something.
Yeah.
So I think Campaign is pretty big for them. But yeah, I honestly I hope it's a good finals. I don't really know if it's going to be. Like I said, I'm excited for the Suns. If the Suns go down 0-2 or if they start losing, I probably won't watch this series. I'm not going to lie. And then I guess we can kind of move on to, I didn't put it in the outline, but the NBA draft. I know you don't really care about it, but it's big for me now. Oh, did I tell you? Or I'll tell you afterwards. Remind me. I did tell you. Never mind. So it seems like everything is pointing towards the Rockets taking Jalen Green at 2. Which, I mean, there's a window in front of me right now. I'm only 2 stories up, so I won't die. So that sucks. But yeah, it makes me want to jump out the window. I've tried to talk myself into Evan Mobley so much, and I can't. He's not as good as Ayton when he came out. And let's be honest, Ayton isn't a top. I mean, he's borderline a top 5 big man in the NBA. Borderline. Yeah, so I just don't like. He's thin. He doesn't really have a shot yet. I mean, everyone's really hoping he can extend his range to the 3-point line against the NBA. But yeah, I mean, I wrote an article yesterday. If they do draft Mobley, they should bring him off the bench, or play him at the 4 like the Grizzlies did with Jaren Jackson. Or I've kind of talked myself into this too. Orlando has the 5th and 8th picks. I don't trust the Cavs organization to take the players I would take at 5 and 8. But if I was in charge of the draft, I would trade back to 5 and 8 and pick up Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody out of Arkansas. So,
right. Well, what about? Let me pose you this question: what about taking your approach of picks are worth nothing, like in the NFL, and going and trading that pick for someone on the block, someone real good? I don't know who, but I'm throwing it out there for you to kind of think about.
Because I get what you're saying, but it's really not like. It's not like. Okay, say what you just said again.
I'm saying, what if you have the 3rd overall pick, right?
Oh yeah, you're talking about trade for a star. The NFL and the NBA are incredibly different. I mean, granted, hey, if Jaylen Brown were to come available, who is young, 24, or someone like Jason Tatum. Oh, also, I thought about this last night. I hate the way Jason Tatum spells his name. His name is Jason, and he spells it Jayson, and I hate it. But if one of those, sorry, I just had to put that in. It made me angry for a full 10 minutes the other night.
Trade packages for the 3 picks.
Oh, yeah. It's not the same in the NFL as the NBA because NBA you can draft one guy and they can change everything. But I mean, like I said, if you were to tell me a young guy like Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum or I don't know, like a Ja Morant kind of guy came, like, yes, I would trade this year's pick and next year's pick for that. Like I no qualms against that.
What if it was a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Thunder, where he's young? I love him too, but it's going to be hard to get him away. But the Thunder are a team that love picks, as we've seen kind of recently. So you throw him your next 2 firsts, and
we're getting to the point where the NBA needs to like what?
I said send him the 3 pick Sexton and like another pick or 2, and then get Shai.
You're not going to get that for Shai. You need to trade probably 2 firsts, but
I'm saying, this year's first, another pick sometime along the way, and Sexton, who's a young guy that they could still use on that young team.
I agree. I will say you're right. But I will say this draft is supposed to be one of the best since 2003. or the top 4 or 5 prospects are probably the best since '03. And then in 2 years, so yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, yeah, I would absolutely do. I would trade for Jaylen Brown or anything because let's be honest, the real prize comes in 2 years when it's Imani Bates, basically the best player. He's been touted as the best player since LeBron James. He's basically, everyone says he's like Kevin Durant. He is going to be a senior this year, I think. I don't know, in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I will say this about the NBA draft. I mean, if you go to like 247 or ESPN, they're recruiting now. Like all the guys, like the top level guys, I think for next year, like in Imani Bay's class, the top 4 are all going to the G League, which I'm 100% for. Like if you are so good that you can go to the G League, do it, and then make college basketball an overall better thing to watch. So I'm all for it. But with the 3rd pick, it's so hard for me to talk myself into Mobley because we have Jared. Like the Cavs lucked out by getting Jared Allen. They did, just literally got lucky. So they need to hold on to him, and I don't know how well I trust Mobley at the 4. I think Jaren Jackson was better coming out than he was. So I'm basically in a very tough situation right now. But that's my rambling for that. And that Houston, if you're listening, please take Evan Mobley. Or what I would do if I was the Cavs, I would trade Sexton to Houston to move up to 2.
I mean, they already have the trade connection because didn't they trade Kevin Porter Jr. there too?
Yeah, but Kevin Porter Jr. is basically a better version of Colin Sexton, or will be a better version of Colin Sexton. Don't get me started on the Kevin Porter situation. It's unbelievable.
So stupid. That was so stupid, yo. They traded him because he like threw chips or something because someone was in his locker. Like, bro, no. You can't.
Well, first of all, he got arrested with loaded guns, and I think weed's fine, don't care. Loaded guns without a permit, not a big fan, but whatever. So they like punished him for that. They didn't let him, like he kind of had to like, which is weird. Their punishment was weird. Like it was like he couldn't be with the team or something. I don't know. And then he freaked out at the front office, and no, Kobe Altman has no right or position to be talking about like anything because he's an idiot. But all right, move on to the Major League Baseball.
Hey.
I'm trying to get through baseball quickly. Bauer, I don't have any real thoughts on that other than to say it really doesn't surprise me. I liked Bauer when he was in Cleveland, but once again, this does not surprise me. And it's just, once again, it comes back to the point, like, why do these guys keep doing this? It's past the point where it's not going to get out. Like, everything gets out. So, do you have anything on that? It's just amazing to me that they keep doing this stuff.
No, I don't have anything to add. I think we touched on it a little bit last week as well. So I think I'm set.
Cool. Cool beans, bro. Shohei Ohtani, first major league player to make the All-Star team as a pitcher and a field player.
He's so good. He is so good.
He is so good. I still think Mike Trout is better. But It is amazing that Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout play for possibly, I mean, you could throw Fernando Tatis Jr. in there and like maybe young Vlad and a couple other players maybe. But they have arguably two of the top 7 baseball players in the MLB. And the Angels still suck.
They're horrible. And like I understand Trout's hurt. Like I understand that. I'm pretty like, is he still hurt? I know he got hurt like a month or two ago, and I think he's still hurt. But you still have a top 7 player in the league who is not only providing you a big bat in the lineup, but he is now also pitching at like I think he has like a 2.7 ERA, which like that's good. It's not really fantastic, but it's really good. And you're telling me you can't win.
We're also in the age of where DeGrom is posting like 0.21 ERAs. So yes, 2.7 is very good. Keep going, yeah. I don't know if you have anything else.
It's crazy because like I liked Ohtani and I wanted the Mets to take him because the dude is literally built for the NL. So I was like, hey, why not take a shot on him? I was a big fan of him coming out, and when they were trying to sign him over, the Angels get him. They already have Mike Trout, who is from New Jersey, so I like still sort of follow him because he's like hometown guy or whatever. But it's crazy to me that they went out and they got Anthony Rendon when he was in his prime and at the top of his career. He's arguably a top 20 player in the league. Then they have, I don't even know the rest of their roster. It's that bad.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. What's so amazing to me is that like before Ohtani came over into the MLB, like you looked at the Angels and like if you would have thought like, okay, they have Mike Trout. What's like this one superstar that can do something crazy? Like the Angels couldn't have asked for a better person that can literally come in and not only pitch but also hit and pitch and hit very well. Like he is the first player to do that. You think that somehow the Angels would succeed with that, but they don't, which is
right.
And I'm in the MLB. Like the big cities usually win just because they have the most money and there's no salary cap. Like I don't feel bad for Angels fans. I don't like. I just don't know how they're so bad. I just don't get it.
And I'm looking at their roster. Their catchers. I mean, Kurt Suzuki's a little older now, so he's not like as good as he once was. But Max Stassi is Mike Trout's age, and he's actually a really good not five-tool player, but he's a solid player and a big bat. You have David Fletcher at second base, who was doing amazing for a little spurt there. Then we already talked about Rendon. Obviously, there's Trout and Ohtani. When Justin Upton plays, he's really good, but he's always hurt somehow. Mm-hmm. Jose Iglesias, another guy, can hold his weight. You have all of these guys as your position players. That's awesome. You look at their pitchers and you look at their their starting pitchers and their bullpen. I don't know anyone other than like Ohtani in the starting rotation. I do not know. Jose Quintana was good about 7 years ago, but he's not a starter anymore. You know, you look at the bullpen. Alex Claudio was a guy that used to be really good, but they don't have any pitching. And I understand it's very hard to get people to come to the Angels because if you're going to go to LA, why not go to the Dodgers? That's always been the thing for the Angels. But when you have the two of the top 7 players and you have the best player in baseball in Mike Trout, how aren't you getting guys in here to help him? It's like the reverse of the Mets situation. They had the starting rotation. They had all of these great pitchers that were throwing great ERAs, but they had no run support and no bats to back them up. The Angels are in the opposite. They're putting up 5 runs a game and are losing 5-7. That's the real issue with the Angels right now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the problem with baseball. I mean, there's no salary cap. You'd think the Angels would just go out and sign 2 aces, but apparently it's not that easy. So, I mean, that shows you all I know about baseball. The Cleveland baseball team is disgustingly bad, whatever. We talked about Subway Series, so on to the NFL. You know about contracts. I don't. $36.8 million for Trevor Lawrence. Where is that ranking? Is it the highest ever, or
I don't think it's the highest ever? I know he didn't get it fully guaranteed, which I was a little surprised at because there have been a couple people out of this draft class that got fully guaranteed deals. So you would think that the number 1 overall pick and Trevor Lawrence especially would get a fully guaranteed deal here. But he signed it for $36.8 million, 24 of it's guaranteed. But apparently they're just giving him the standard contract for the number 1 overall pick, which I was really surprised about. And I think part of it, in all honesty, might be Trevor Lawrence is doing. I think he didn't want to take this humongous contract because he realizes that he should keep his salary cap down so that they can keep bringing in talent for him down the road.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I really.
I mean, I don't really think like I don't think Jacksonville's a bad place for him to go, but like I have a hard time seeing like a future where he's like super successful in 5 years. So I hope
Well,
so, but
yeah, I think it all depends on a couple people. One, Travis Etienne and James Robinson, one of the two. One of the two is going to take over as the lead back, and they have to like move on from the other one. And we've talked about it. I'm not going to beat the point to death, but it was such a stupid pick to take Etienne. The next person that it's going to be on, whether or not Trevor Lawrence has success, is DJ Chark. He's got to come back healthy and be the guy that he was looking like when he had Blake Bortles throwing the ball.
I agree a little bit. But I'll go back to the Etienne pick. The Etienne pick was so stupid, not only because it was clear when Urban Meyer drafted him that he was going to try and use him as his H-back without realizing that he has a great H-back on their roster in Laviska Shenault. There was an article on ESPN the other day, and like if they choose to prioritize Travis Etienne over Laviska Shenault, who is probably an overall better player, then like it's not going to go well for Trevor Lawrence. I like it just seems like I don't know why because I didn't really ever hate Trevor Lawrence. I hate Dabo and I hate Clemson. I didn't hate Trevor Lawrence because it's kind of hard to hate the guy. Yeah. But it's just I don't know what it is. Like I feel like if just like one minor thing goes wrong this year, I feel like it's all like it's gonna. I don't know why it is this, but like I feel like it's just gonna be a landslide down. If like something small happens, like if Etienne gets hurt, I feel like or something like that, where Lawrence will just come all the way down. So I don't know. We both agree the Etienne pick was ridiculous, and it's even looking more ridiculous now because I think James Robinson is a far better running back, especially for the system they have in Jacksonville. So, I mean, they're going to try and find a way to defend drafting Etienne, and I can probably tell you one of the ways they're going to do it, they're going to put him back to return one of the kicks, probably to just say, oh, he was our returner. Like, well, you don't spend a first-round pick on a returner.
I was just going to say that.
Unless it's Devin Hester. I might spend a late first-round pick on Devin Hester.
Right.
Or Josh Cribbs. Come on.
Josh Cribbs.
I don't think we we'll go to the other Josh, and then we'll get to the other thing. Josh Gordon files for reinstatement. Thoughts?
I mean, how many times are we going to do this dance? That's real my thought. Like,
I'm 100% with you, but I also look at it the other way. Also, like, how long are we going to do this dance? It's weed, guys. Like, it's weed. Like,
and I get that, but as the rules are right now, like it's still banned. No matter how you feel about it, that's like the rule or whatever. And Josh Gordon, like, how many times are we going to do this dance? We all know that you're not going to get off it, which is fine. I really don't care personally, but you're not going to come clean and be off it, and they're going to kick you out again. So, like, what are we doing here? What's the point?
True. I mean, yeah. I will say that the one season he had in Cleveland, it was one of the top 10 receiving years I've ever seen in my life. So
he only played 12 games and led the league in receiving.
Yeah. Well, basically because the offense was devout of talent and the quarterback was had even less talent, I'm sure. So they would just throw deep to him and he was good enough to catch it. So, but yeah. Oh, and to go back, not to actually, the whole Rachel Nichols thing, the whole leaking of the camera. Did you read it?
No.
Basically, so she had her camera with her last year with the finals, and she was staying in like Miami or something. I don't know. And so she had her camera with her so that she could do like on live appearances. Right. And I guess so when she called LeBron James's advisor to talk to him about like what she should do next, somehow she hadn't turned the camera off or something of that nature. And that's how it got caught. I cry foul play there. I something that's weird. Cameras just don't just turn on and off. So,
that's.
You having trouble with your headphones there?
No, I was taking my glasses off for a minute, and then I was putting them back on. So I was just readjusting everything. But yeah, no, that doesn't smell right to me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how much news this is. The Cowboys are going to be on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, at
I
some
don't
point we
care
get
about Hard Knocks, especially the Cowboys.
like at some point we got to move on from Hard Knocks. Like it's just not worth
It's
it.
not what it used to be.
No, I think honestly, I think the last good season they had was the Browns one.
The
When
Browns went. The only thing that I ever liked about Hard Knocks was the joint practice with the Texans and the
oh,
Redskins when D
oh
Hop like
yeah, they are.
saw who was it, D'Angelo Hall, and then he like
Yes,
got hurt because he
yes,
like broke his ankles or whatever. It was great.
yeah,
Instant karma.
yeah.
Favorite clip.
Um, now for updates on Aaron Rodgers, I still have none. I
Yeah,
think he said yesterday maybe that he is using this summer to focus on his mental health, I believe.
and work on himself and all
Hey
that.
man,
Good
you
for
just
him.
yeah, good for him. Keep working on yourself and just hey, keep staying out of the NFL. I am going to be so happy if he doesn't play, or even if he like goes like week 5 and hasn't played yet and plays. I'm just going to rip all of everyone else in our fantasy league who took him.
Who was it who took him? I
I
want
don't
to
know.
say, oh, it was Luke. He
Oh
used a
yeah,
seventh round pick on him.
Zach. I don't know if you saw last night. Zach, some other league, I guess. He drafted Pat Mahomes first overall and Aaron Rodgers as his second pick.
His second round pick.
Yeah, I'm sure it was like a super
Oh,
or a dynasty league or whatever with
that's
the super
crazy.
flex. With the super flex, so yeah,
That's
I don't know.
crazy.
He was happy about it. I don't know why, but whatever. Stephon Gilmore. The more and more this happens, the more I think he's probably just going to stay there and do his last year. Although it would not surprise me at all if he does get traded because Belichick knows he's going to walk next season. So if they can get
Get
anything,
something for him. Yeah.
yeah, he's going to get something for him. I still would rather have the Browns trade for him than Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. But Gilmore would be really good. But it almost like I don't know where you put everyone in the secondary. Then like there's just a lot of secondary players. So whatever. I like I said, wouldn't surprise me if he gets dealt. Wouldn't surprise me if he's there. We'll go to the Olympics real quick because this was kind of we just brought up Sha'Carri Richardson, the 100-meter winner, smoked, got caught. It's basically the same thing you said about Josh Gordon. Like it's the rules, and I guess like her biological mother died, so she smoked. It's dumb rule. In the next, we will be legal, I think, in the next 5 years. So it's just a dumb rule, and it sucks that she has to miss out on the Olympics from that. But when you're doing that, you got to know the rules. So whatever.
Especially with the Olympics because they're like uber strict about it.
Yes,
Like even more so than even the NFL sometimes.
Yeah, I mean those Russians, they have all those steroids. So
Yeah.
So let's hop into the NCAA. We will get to the NIL. We'll get to the bigger news though now. J2 Tuamau, he did pick Ohio State. I know you heard my rant on him the other week. I still agree with my rant. And I'm still not high on the guy, considering that he drew this out and then was like, "Oh, I'm going to do it on July 4th." Like, steal the spotlight away from America. Way to go, JT.
He thinks he is America.
I don't know about that, but good. I mean, he's a good player. It's going to be tough for him to find the field this year because he's so late. But he is good, so I'm sure he'll be a top 10 pick in like 2027. And one of his quotes, I don't know if it was a quote. Some people said it was fake. Some people said it was not. I tend to believe it. He took a nice hearty shot at Alabama. I chose Ohio State because I want to be the best. You don't get better playing against New Mexico State in November.
Yikes.
Which is who Alabama does play in November. I've never understood that. The SEC is so weird. Why don't they just play their tune-up games like everyone else does in the beginning of the season?
Probably because they need a break and need to, recharge by playing some nobody. I don't know. I never understood it either.
All right. So now on to the NIL. Obviously, this passed with the Supreme Court and everything. So I don't know what you think about it. I think it's good for them. It's going to be the wild, wild west, literally. I think there are rules about what you can do with sponsors. I just don't think anyone has either read them or is going to follow them. So there could be some trouble coming for some people. It wouldn't surprise me. And then I'll get your thoughts, and then we can go over some of the best sponsorship deals already.
No, I mean it's going to be the wild, wild west, and this is exactly what everyone was looking for. But I mean, I'm not like too surprised that it's going to be like that because there are a lot of college athletes across a lot of sports, and I know that Barstool, since they made the decision, has been signing a lot of Barstool athletes or whatever, and I keep seeing new ones every day. So I don't know what that entails. I don't know if there's money involved with it or if it's just you good.
Is that playing on here?
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and hopefully it doesn't ruin college sports for me.
So let's just go over some of the deals that people have signed. Masterpiece son, Hersey Miller, signed a $2 million deal with somebody. I don't know. I can't figure out who. He's going to Tennessee State. I think he probably profited basically off his name. So good for him.
Nice. Okay.
Iowa basketball player Jordan Bohannon. He was scheduled to be in a fireworks shop on July 4th and sign autographs.
Fireworks.
Right. North Carolina, UNC front court star Armando Bacot is partnered with Jimmy's Seafood. Wow, that's awesome. Some of these are, oh my God, this is great. Alabama defensive back JaQuincy Kool-Aid McKinstry will soon begin selling a non-fungible token for $750 through Skybox Sports.
I never understood what the non-fungible tokens are. Like, I don't get them. I don't understand what they are. They sound like a trading card, but online. I don't get it.
I have absolutely no idea what it is. Like, I don't know what it is at all. I thought it was like Bitcoin.
Can you and I make a non-fungible token and sell it for $700?
Yeah, I don't think anyone will buy it, but we could. I think we might want to start with like 75 cents first.
Yeah, we'll just keep upping the price after we sell one.
Yeah. Smoothie King, Miles Brennan, Smoothie Kings, Ohio State's right tackle with Flix CV. I don't know that video. Trey Knox, Arkansas player, signed with PetSmart. I saw their commercial. It was really good. And then, you know what? Derek Stingley soon announced an endorsement deal with Walk-Ons. I don't know what that is. I assume it's a restaurant because it was garbage. But whatever. All right, on to
the restaurant.
Power rankings of our draft. All right, I need to pull up. Do you have it up?
I do. Do you want me to share screen?
Yeah, go ahead. You can do it.
Okay. I will that one. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Do you just want to start team by team, or do you have any opening comments first?
I think we're both gonna do our own power rankings, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not confident in our team. I'll just say that.
I think our team has a lot of potential. All right, let's just look at our team first before we go through the rankings. So I can highlight the row like this. So obviously our three quarterbacks between Herbert, Burrow, and Darnold. We got a young core. Whether that's good or bad, we don't know. We'll find out. But I think having Herbert and Burrow is really solid. And then having Darnold as like our backup kind of fill-in is not bad because he does have the potential in Carolina to turn things around. I will say that much.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I do. I'm now joining the draft room. Are we up yet again?
No, the Hunter's still waiting to pick.
Um, all right, so I have it up now.
So then we have our running backs between Dobbins, Montgomery, Jacobs, Carter, Moss, and we took Drake as just a handcuff to Jacobs. That's a really solid group of running backs, especially when you look at some of the other teams. I think since we have basically 4 starting running backs, our top 4 guys, I mean, and it could turn into 5 with a handcuff. There are worse things, I think, to have.
Damn it! Like, it just makes me so mad that I learned about this draft. And I learned I got the 5th pick right after Kyler Murray. I love Kyler Murray. It's not fair. So I don't know if you saw this, but in the rules or in the scoring, we get negative points for interceptions.
Right.
So that makes me a little wary about Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. They aren't like the cleanest passers.
I can say I'm in a bunch of leagues that have the -2 points. I thought that was just pretty standard. It doesn't affect them too much, I don't think, because if you look at Herbert, on he had 10 interceptions to 31 touchdowns. So like I don't think that was too bad. And then Burrow through his couple games, 13-5 is not the best ratio, but that's still almost 3-1. So it shouldn't affect them too much, especially with Burrow getting more weapons around him. Did they sign any linemen? I forget.
The Bengals?
Yeah. Did they get anyone in free agency? I feel like they did.
I don't think so. I know they got Ogunjobi, Trey Hendrickson. Here, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah.
I don't think they got anyone from the offensive line.
Interesting.
They did get not your boy. Never mind. They signed Riley Reef.
Okay, that's not a bad pickup. That's always a good start. But yeah. I think with the additions the Bengals have made to help Burrow, it'll end up being a solid 2 quarterbacks, especially for Dynasty, because Herbert is 23, Burrow is 24. And although Darnold obviously hasn't had the best career so far, he's still young. He's the same age as Burrow, but has 3 years experience under his belt. Or actually, 3 years. He came out 2018. So it could be a worse quarterback room. Obviously, our running backs are really young, but they have a lot of potential between them and are all starting running backs out of these 3 at least. And you can only play it, I think, at most 3 at a time. Or technically 4 at a time if you wanted to use the super flex, but we're not going to do that, I don't think. But between those 3, that's like a very solid group. And then our wideouts, obviously, Metcalf is.
I'm worried.
You're worried about Metcalf.
I don't like Russell Wilson. I think it's impossible for him not to have a good season, but I don't know. I mean, I would think that he becomes the main option in Seattle.
Mm-hmm. The true main option.
What?
The true main option. He was one of the 2 main options, but I think now he becomes the true main option, where they're looking for him first, then Lockett.
Yeah, other than Lockett. So I'm a little nervous about that, but whatever. I do like our running backs for the most part. I don't love J.K. Dobbins as our first one. I think probably if we were to do it over, I would probably probably not. Maybe not. I don't know.
But Swift, Gibson, Eckler, and Jones were the guys taken after.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Swift.
Well, no.
Good.
Najee Harris was taken right after.
No, Najee was taken before up here. It was going this way, so he came down this way, and then it snaked back around here.
No, Najee Harris was picked after us.
No, we took DK and then went to Najee.
No, it goes left to right.
Okay. This is the first pick, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and then it flips. So now this is the
9,
first pick.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
So Najee's here at 3-6, and we took Dobbins at 4-4.
Yeah, but we took Metcalf at 3-5.
Yes. Yes,
Oh
and that's what I'm saying. We took Metcalf over Harris, and then when Zeke was off the board, we diverted to Dobbins.
yeah, I think we did well with what we have. What was on the board.
Yeah,
All right. Well, let's. I mean, we could just pretty much make it obvious. Our last pick will probably be.
a quarterback, or yeah, I don't know. So I've been thinking about it. We could go with a young quarterback project who could turn into something, but at the same time, I don't actually have. Hang on, let me look at my phone very quickly because as you see, I don't have the board so I can see who's on the
I
pick.
do.
Um, let me look.
I, I do. What position do you want to look at?
I have it on my phone here. Like I was looking, there are a lot of decent wide receiver options
Yes, that's
left.
exactly what I was going to say. Yes.
So because Metcalf should be really good, Judy with the uncertainty at quarterback, I think personally, like obviously Locke is probably going to start unless Aaron Rodgers gets traded. But I think Locke loses the job and Teddy Bridgewater comes in. And if Teddy Bridgewater comes in, I actually think that really helps Jerry Judy because while Bridgewater is not a top five quarterback by any means, he does really well with what he's got. And Judy is the exact type of receiver that Bridgewater thrives with.
Yeah.
So I think that really helps him. Claypool, like you said, is going to get a lot of red zone touches, I think. And he could develop into the true one because Juju, I think, is on his way out after this 1-year contract he signed.
Oh yeah, he's. I think if they don't make Claypool their one this year, it would just be dumb.
Yeah.
But,
Pittman should be taking over as the one. And say what you will about Carson Wentz, it's an upgrade from Phillip Rivers. And Pittman had a pretty decent season, I would say, for the games that he played. Obviously, he missed a big portion. But, for a rookie season, getting 40 receptions on 61 targets, the one touchdown was a little troublesome, but again, he only played in 13 games and didn't really develop into a guy that was playing a lot until after their bye week. So he should see a lot more targets and develop into someone who can be a true one. And I know you had your concerns about St. Brown, but he's going to be the one, and he's going to be one of like the 2 or 3 options that Goff is going to have to throw to. But going back to like what we were talking about, we instead of taking our quarterback prospect that we were looking at here, we could go with another wideout because there are a ton of guys on the board that could be really solid pickups.
yeah, I agree. I think we should maybe we'll look at receiver for sure. Do we want to power rank them today or maybe?
I mean, we could just kind of go through and talk about a couple of teams, and then we can power rank them Thursday once the draft is completed. And I'll take all the after the draft is over, it'll upload into our league over here, and then you can go through like the teams or whatever. So you can click on like his team, and we can go through it like that, and we can like have time to rank them and everything. But I think just for now, we should just kind of talk about a couple of people. So
I mean, obviously anyone with Patrick Mahomes, I like, but so I think that was a good pick from Luke, but I don't love the Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones pick because, I mean, you don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. He also drafted Aaron Rodgers as a second quarterback later, so.
And he drafted A.J. Dillon. He's putting a lot into the Packers. He's buying a lot of Packers stock between his guys so far. You're right. I don't love it if Aaron Rodgers isn't there, and especially if it's Jordan Love. But just having the number one receiver, the number one running back, the number one quarterback, and then the number 2 running back out of a team, you're putting a lot into that offense, and you're expecting the Packers to play like they did last year, which a lot of times for the Packers is not how they play. They usually have a very up year, and then they have a slightly below year or even more below year. So investing into the Packers is a huge risk by him, I think.
All right. Hank's team, I would have drafted Christian McCaffrey too, but he scares me every year. Like I feel like he's going to go down like Barkley every year.
Yeah, well, and he also has Barkley over here. Yeah, his top two guys are McCaffrey and Barkley, which is great if they're healthy. But like you said, one of them is probably always going to be hurt. I like the Gibson pick, even though you were not a big fan of Gibson. He's going to have opportunity, and it's not a bad 3.
Oh, well, whatever.
I don't love his quarterbacks, in all honesty. I thought this was way too early to take Deshaun Watson. I know he's supposed to play this year, but since this is a dynasty league and with all the uncertainty of everything, I didn't think that he was going to be taken until the much later rounds, like down here.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then I like the Stafford pick. He should have an up year, but he also has injury problems. I mean, not really his fault because Detroit never really gave him a line, but he's going to have injury problems. And then obviously Zach Wilson is going to be a question mark. You don't know what you're getting with him. And while Deshaun Watson might start week 1, nothing is really concrete yet. So you're going into the season potentially with Stafford and Zach Wilson week 1, which is for me an issue. But
yeah, I really didn't like the Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson back-to-back picks.
Yeah,
I could have seen taking Lamar Jackson maybe, but I mean, I guess before Prescott got hurt last year, he probably was number 1 in points and shit. So
right. Well, and you look at the rest of his team. He didn't take a running back until here, and he actually has a decent running back room. But I don't love going with Chase, Mixon, and Higgins. Taking 2 receivers from the Bengals was a little questionable to me because, again, going back to like we talked with Luke, you're investing a lot into the Bengals offense, and you're expecting Joe Burrow to be healthy.
Yeah, I think what I like about our team more than other people's is we rare. I mean, there are a couple, but we don't have as many guys that play for the same team.
Yeah, obviously we have Jacobs and Drake, but Drake's really just a handcuff in case Jacobs gets hurt. Because if Jacobs gets hurt, Drake is the most valuable handcuff in the league because he is going to see some time even with Jacobs healthy.
Yeah, I agree. The more I look at it too, I don't hate the Freiermuth pick as much as I did. I'm not gonna lie to you, I still don't like the St. Brown one, but that was miscommunication, so whatever. I didn't know he was in Pittsburgh, but Freiermuth, I mean, I think that's a good spot for him. If anything, Ben will probably be looking to check down more than he did last year. So
right, and I really do think Freiermuth is going to compete for the starting tight end spot with Ebron at day 1. I already think he's competing for it. Ebron's been on the decline now for a while, and Ben knows how to use his tight ends. That's something that he's done very well throughout his career.
Yeah, I like George Kittle, but first of all, it makes me mad that Kyle Pitts got taken and picked for us.
Yeah, we got sniped.
It just that pick worries me because I don't think we know who's going to be their quarterback.
Yeah, and from everything that I've read and heard after we've made the pick, of course, Garoppolo doesn't look good in camp.
Yes, of course, everything. And then I was reading Bleacher Report yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, they should just trade him before the season."
Yeah, like of course, but Kittle is going to be a guy like you look over. This is really what we took him for: 2018 and 2019. He finished 2 and 3. He's a top 3 tight end in the league when he plays every game. Obviously, you throw out his rookie year because he didn't really see much of a snap count. And last year, he only played the 8 games. He played 8 games and finished at 19. Not exactly what you were hoping for him out of his production, but when he plays well and when he's integrated into the offense and isn't playing hurt like he was the last couple weeks of the season, I mean, that's just brutal right here. But when he is integrated, he's a top 3 tight end. He is a little bit on the older side and hasn't really started. He didn't really blow up right away, but I think because it's the tight end position and how they utilize him, he could have a really long career. So I very much liked your pick with that one there as our backup after Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that's hopefully. Just looking at it, like, hopefully Pittman pick. Like, I think of a lot of our team is we have to hope they play well.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're set up nicely for like next year or the year after once everyone starts to like, get more integrated and has the opportunities. Though we still could compete this year should a bunch of our second year guys pan out.
Yeah, I would hope that we could compete this year, Tom. But yeah, just from first glance, last question. Who's the best team here? Not us.
Yeah, not us. I have to say, Zach is having a very good draft. Obviously, he traded up for Allen, still ended up getting Chubb, Harris. I don't love the Sanders pick, but he has Diggs and Thomas as his top two guys. The starting guys should be Allen and Wentz, with Lance as a long term answer. He's had a very good draft so far, and again, he's got Jones down here too. He's got Hawkinson and Henry with Higbee as the backup. I don't know. Zach has just had a very good draft and is taking a lot of guys that I was having my eye on. I also thought it was really interesting that he went with Jones and Fournette in the same round. I am trying to stay as far away from the Tampa Bay running back situation in my other leagues as possible. Not that they're not going to have opportunities, but along with Jones and Fournette both being the starter, as Arians has said here, you can read the little blurb here. They're both supposed to start, but I was actually reading an article and talking about it with my dad that Giovanni Bernard is supposed to have a huge role this year for them. That's why they brought him in. That's why they signed him. He's going to have a really big year as the third down guy and the pass catching guy. So with that already being split three ways, I'm trying to avoid that running back room. But since Zach had the two picks in the same round really close together, I mean, I'm surprised that he's gone in for it. And in all honesty, it wouldn't surprise me if he took Bernard here too.
Well, I would say, yeah, I all these trades that have gone on, I still don't know who's on whose team.
Yeah, that's why if you just click on their profile, they'll show you who they have highlighted up. So that's how I've always looked at it.
Oh, wow, there we go. Okay, yeah. Wow, a lot easier.
Yeah.
His second quarterback is Wentz, and then Mac Jones. Okay. I don't like that second quarterback, but that's just because I don't like Carson Wentz. Yeah, I think he probably had one of the better ones.
Who did you think had the best team so far?
It was either Zach or, I really like this ZT McAdoo. I don't know who he is. I'm sorry. I like their team a lot. If you go down the thing, other than the Derrick Henry pick and maybe the DeAndre Swift pick, these are all picks that I make in Madden constantly. Right. So that would be my team. So, but we're not playing Madden, so that's different.
He went very heavy receiver though. He's got 7 receivers out of his 20 spots on his roster.
He is. Godwin's going to catch again. I would be surprised if he didn't win the league if Pitts has a good season.
Well, and even having Noah Fant as the backup in case Pitts doesn't, Fant was very integrated into the offense, and it should only be better if Bridgewater is the quarterback. He finished tight end 8 after only playing, I guess he played 15 games. I thought it was less. But he got hurt in a bunch of games early. I thought, I don't know.
Yeah, the only guy, I love almost all their picks. I would not have taken Trevor Lawrence. No.
Yeah.
I didn't like him. But, the receivers, even Mike Evans and Kenny Golladay should put up 18 touchdowns combined next year, you'd think. And, yeah, right. I would just say that's my team. I probably wouldn't have taken Swift, but then again, I don't know. Maybe I would have taken Diggs there instead, but who knows? He
didn't have Diggs. It was going this way on this turn.
Well, you're just confusing me now. So
sorry. Yeah, I really like his team as well. He this is more of a short-term win now team when you look at his running backs, because like Melvin Gordon is not going to be the starter 2 years down the line. And in all honesty, I don't think Mostert will be either, because Mostert's already 29 years old. They obviously drafted Trey Sermon, so I think he's going to have a big role this year. So these two guys I don't love, but there is, fourth and fifth string running back, so it's not too bad. But he definitely has a short-term team running back-wise, but he has a ton of talent with the young receivers between Waddle, Moore, and Brown here. So, yeah, he was the other guy that I was really looking at if we're talking about best team. But, yeah, I think this has been a really interesting draft so far, because this is my first dynasty draft that's not like 32 teams and has individual defensive players.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, Kyler Murray is still a risky pick. I mean, you can probably only say for sure he's going to be good for another like 3 or 4 years. After that, it's kind of a question mark. But, yeah, I think it's been fun. It's been odd. I don't know what I'm doing really still. But it's been fun, and hopefully we can win a couple games this year. And, yeah. So unless you got anything else, like I said, we better be done with the draft by Thursday. I don't know how we wouldn't be, but we better. So we'll power rank them on Thursday. Then probably go over a little NBA Finals tonight from Game 1, and then who knows? But, yeah, go from there. And let's see if I have any closing remarks. I'm thinking about getting my cousin on again, the baseball player. He got ejected. Right. He got ejected the other day, so I want to hear that story.
Do we have a video?
I don't know. I don't think so. But if we have a video, we're gonna do everything we can to make sure it goes viral. So I was thinking about having him on for a couple of minutes. Sure. We haven't really started working on it yet, but we will hopefully soon be working on a fantasy football / gambling podcast. And yeah, I mean, I assume with football coming up, we'll pretty much kick right into football. I started my FCS preseason top 10 today. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks with, well, actually, July's pretty boring. Other than the finals, I mean, July 4th is over. Like,
we didn't talk about the hot dog eating contest.
Yes, okay.
Joey Chestnut, world record.
So, were you watching it?
Yeah.
Did the ESPN feed cut out?
Yeah, it was like a nationwide cutout. People were pissed. I was going on Twitter. I was like, "What is going on?" I thought it was my TV.
No, I saw it. I think it was maybe an article on SI or something. But I was like, I don't want to go back to the whole the how we talked about ESPN earlier. But ESPN, come on. You have to do one thing today, and it's film one guy eat hot dogs for a couple minutes, and you can't get that done. It's like, but yeah, I mean, you took the field. I told you it was pretty dumb because
it was $10. I mean, if Joey Chestnut had something the night before that wasn't good or something, and he ended up throwing it, I would have made $100. I was good with it.
I'll tell you what, I'm sick of the hot dog eating contest. But I'm all in on the chugging contest.
Yo, Badlands made an appearance. Yo, I was going crazy. I watch his YouTube all the time. It was so funny. Badlands Chug is my guy.
I am 100% more interested in the chugging contest next year than I am the hot dog eating contest. I saw the big gallon of lemonade they were drinking, and it almost just made me think sick thinking about it. I was like, I would be so full. I would have to pee for 75 hours. I wouldn't eat for 3 days. But I am all in on the chugging contest. So even though you failed at the hot dog eating contest, ESPN, you got the chugging contest. So, but yeah, we'll be back at it again Thursday. But other than that, any last words, Tom?
Let's go Dogs, man. You already know.